Asus ROG Strix X870E-E gaming Wi-Fi review. Copious USB ports and 5.0 M.2. Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's talk about Asus ROG Strix X870E-E gaming Wi-Fi. This is only a review based on gathered information. Please do not be swayed by advertisements, and choose and buy with open eyes, free from any promotions. The Asus ROG Strix X870E-E gaming Wi-Fi is an upper mid-range offering you can find on Asus web store at the time of making this video for $499.99, which is also the launch price. You know, if it says ROG Strix, it will pack a lot of features, along with a signature premium appearance. The latest e-gaming model introduces an additional M.2 socket, faster networking, various AI and DIY-friendly Q features, and a refreshed aesthetic compared to the X670E version, enhancing or updating elements almost universally. For under $500, Asus offers a variety of AI features, including AI overclocking, an easy performance upgrade, AI cooling 2, one-click fan tuning, and AI networking 2, optimized network performance, to maximize the potential of the installed hardware. A multitude of easy PC DIY functionality is also included, covering the M.2 sockets, Q releases/language, PCIe/Q release. Asus has improved its design, refining an already high-end aesthetic. The large VRM heatsinks enhance the look with a dot matrix-like RGB backlit ROG symbol and an Asus tagline on top. While it's not significantly different from the previous generation, the design looks less busy and better supports warm-running PCIe 5.0 M.2 devices. In terms of connectivity and PWR, there's also a lot to like. With 13 USB ports on the rear I/O, 10 Type-A and 4 Type-C, 5 M.2 sockets, 3 PCIe 5.0, robust power delivery, and fast networking, there isn't much that could improve speed without spending significantly more money. Performance of the ROG Strix X870E-E across our testing suite with default settings was average in most tests. It also proved to be a competent gaming option, demonstrating its all-around capability against the other motherboards we've evaluated on this platform. We'll examine the board's details and determine whether it deserves a spot on our best motherboards list. But before we share test results and discuss details, we'll list the specifications from Asus website. Inside the box of the Asus ROG Strix X870E-E gaming Wi-Fi, Asus includes several accessories to help ease your building experience. From SATA cables to Wi-Fi antennas, it's enough to get you going without a trip to the store. Below is a complete list of the extras. 2 SATA 6 gigabits per second cables, thermal pad for M.2 to 2110, Asus Wi-Fi antennas, cable ties pack, M.2 Q-latch package, 2 M.2 Q slides, ROG keychain, ROG Strix stickers, 5 M.2 support rubbers. Quick start guide. Design of the X870E gaming Wi-Fi. The board's overall design doesn't change considerably from the previous version. However, it still exudes premium vibes and fits the profile of a premium motherboard. On the all-black, 8-layer PCB, oversized heat pipe connected VRM heatsinks display an RGB ROG symbol shining through. 3 larger heatsinks are positioned over the 3 PCIe 5.0 M.2 drives at the bottom. A plate-style heatsink with diagonal slats and hints of brushed aluminum covers the remaining M.2s, along with the chipset heatsink. A second RGB lighting strip concealed below illuminates the bottom of the board. Once again, we appreciate the enhancements over the previous generation, and there's no doubt this setup will look impressive inside almost any chassis. In the left corner, we see the 2 dual ProCool 2 8-pin EPS connectors powering the CPU. The oversized VRM heatsinks have no issues keeping the powerful VRMs below in spec. The ROG symbol design splits up the dual-finished, matte and smooth aluminum cover top, along with the "For Those Who Dare" branding that you'll find on both parts of the heatsink. Moving right, we run into the NitroPath-equipped drum slots with locking mechanisms on both sides. Asus lists capacity up to 256 GB with DDR5-8400+ OC, speeds for 8000 series APUs, while 7/9000 series desktop processors are slightly lower at DDR5-8000+ OC. Our DDR5-8000 kit didn't work out of the box, UT-WASP, TIB the QVL, but our team group DDR5-7200 kit worked without issue. The board also features Asus AMP feature that helps get the most out of memory kits without XMP profiles. Above the DRAM slots, we find the first 4 of the 7 4-pin fan headers. Each header supports PWM and DC control devices, with a total output across all headers of 1A/12W. Although this is low compared to other motherboards, which typically offer at least 1/2 A header, you would only need to worry if you carelessly piggyback a couple of fans on the same header. Control over these devices is managed through Armory Create and AI Cooling 2, which includes one-click fan tuning via a proprietary Asus algorithm. Next are a couple of LED displays to aid in troubleshooting. At the top is the Q-code LED, which shows more detailed codes, while the simpler QLED display is below. Both features function during the post-process, indicating the specific area, QLED, CPU, DRAM, VGA, boot, where the issue lies, and providing additional information via Q-code. These are always beneficial when problems arise, and especially important if you enjoy tweaking and pushing your system. We encounter the first of 3 3-pin ARGB headers along the right edge. Control over any integrated devices and those connected to the headers is managed through the Aura Sync software, which can be accessed via the Armory Crate. Below is the Start button and the Flex key, Reset, which you can configure for quick access features like Safe Boot or toggling the LEDs on and off with the button. Next, there is the 24-pin ATX connector to power the board. A front panel USB 3.2 Gen 2x2, 20 gigabits per second, Type-C header, and finally a 19-pin front panel USB 3.2 Gen 1, 5 gigabits per second header. Power delivery on the X870E. E-gaming features 22 phases, 18 dedicated to core. Power flows from the EPS connectors to a DG plus ASP 2205 PWM controller. Next are 18 Vishay SIC 850 A110A SPS MOSFETs utilizing Asus teamed power configuration we're used to seeing these days. The available 1980 amps can easily support overclocked flagship class processors, even with sub-ambient overclocking methods. Ultimately, the only limitation is CPU cooling on such a robot board. If this sounds familiar, it's the same solution on the more expensive ROG Maximus X870E Hero. Hiding under the Supreme FX shield at the bottom left corner is the current generation Realtek ALC 4080 audio codec. Helping things out are several premium dedicated audio capacitors, yellow, audio line shielding, and a Savitech SV3 H712 amp. Most users will be pleased with the audio solution. In the middle of the board are 2 PCIe slots. The top one is CPU connected and runs at PCIe 5.0x16 speeds, while the bottom one, through the chipset, runs at PCIe 4.0x4. Both slots are reinforced, with the top slot featuring QLED Slim technology for easily extracting your graphics card without needing a button. The card is secured with a standard, perhaps broader, clip that is spring-loaded and remains open by default, locking in place when the GPU is pushed down. As long as your graphics card is secured to the PC case, there's no risk of it coming loose. To remove it, pull it up on the I/O side of the card to dislodge it from the front, left, part of the slot. Additionally, the top slot can bifurcate and supports up to 4x4 M.2s or x4/x4/x8 using an add-in card. Mixed in among the PCIe slots are 5 M.2 sockets. The top 3 sockets, M.2_1/2/3, are all CPU connected and operate on PCIe 5.0x4, 128 gigabits per second, supporting devices up to 80 millimeters. M.2_3 supports 110 millimeters. The bottom 2 slots accommodate 80 millimeters modules but connect through the chipset, running at PCIe 4.0x4, 64 gigabits per second. You have plenty of speed and sockets available. The first socket also has a multi-size connector for easier installation. There is lane sharing. When M.2_2 and M.2_3 are enabled, the primary PCIe slot reduces to X8. The e-gaming supports NVMe RAID 0/1/5/10 with 9000 series processors. Along the right edge, past the chipset, are 4 horizontal SATA ports, also supporting RAID 0/1/5/10 and another 19-pin USB 3.2 Gen 1, 5 gigabits per second header. Across the bottom of the board are several exposed headers. You'll find the typical stuff here, including additional USB ports, RGB headers, and more. Front panel audio, chassis fan header, 2 3-pin ARGB headers, alternate PCIe mode switch, chassis fan header, 3 USB 2.0 headers, 2 chassis fan headers, Front panel. CPU overvolt header. 2-pin thermistor header. The rear I/O on the X870E. E-gaming is extremely busy with 14 total USB ports, dominating the space. Starting on the left is the HDMI video output followed by 2 USB 4, 40 gigabits per second Type-C ports. 2 more Type-C ports line the bottom edge, and between those are the clear CMOS and BIOS flashback buttons. Above all of that are 10 USB 3.2 Gen 2, 10 gigabits per second ports, and the Realtek RTL 8126 5GB. On the right are the Wi-Fi 7 module, the Quick Connect Q antenna, and the 2-plug plus SPDIF audio stack. Firmware. Asus BIOS on the X870E. E-gaming looks the same, sporting the black, red, easy-to-read ROG theme we're all familiar with. Asus starts in an easy mode that displays high-level information, including CPU and memory clock speeds, temperatures, fan speeds, storage information, etc. Advanced mode has several headers across the top that drop down additional options. The new Q dashboard shows all the integrated connectivity. When hardware is connected, there's a green circle next to it. The BIOS is one of my favorites, as any option you need is there, and anything you need frequently isn't buried deep within menus. Software. Armory Crate for the X870E. E-gaming follows the ROG-inspired theme. Several applications exist for various functions, ranging from RGB lighting control, audio, system monitoring, and overclocking, etc. It's also worth mentioning the included software. When purchasing Asus motherboards, you receive a 60-day IDA64 license, a useful application for stress and performance testing. Asus Driver Hub, get your updated drivers here, and a custom version of Winfo for real-time monitoring are also helpful applications. Test system/comparison products. We've updated our test system to Windows 11, 23H2, 64-bit OS with all updates applied as of late September 2024. This includes the branch prediction optimizations for AMD. Hardware-wise, we've updated the RAM kits, matching our Intel test system, cooling, storage, and video card. Unless otherwise noted, we use the latest non-beta motherboard BIOS available to the public. Thanks to Asus for providing the RTX 4080 TUF graphics card and crucial for the 2TB T705 SSDs. Benchmark results. Our standard benchmarks and power tests are performed using the CPU's stock frequencies, including any default boost/turbo, with all power-saving features enabled. We set optimized defaults in the BIOS and the memory by enabling the XMP profile. For this baseline testing, the Windows power scheme is set to balanced, default, so the PC idles appropriately, synthetic benchmarks. Synthetics provide a great way to determine how a board runs, as identical settings should produce similar performance results. Turbo boost wattage and advanced memory timings are places where motherboard makers can still optimize for stability or performance, though, and those settings can impact some testing. The X870E e-gaming Wi-Fi performed adequately across the synthetic benchmarks. It was average in many areas, but struggled in the Procyon Office tests. The margin of difference isn't significant enough to cause concern, but it was still slower than most other boards by small margins. Timed applications. The board did fine in the timed applications. Nothing to worry about here. 3D games and 3D Mark. Starting with the launch of Zen 5, we've updated our game tests. We're keeping the F1 racing game, but have upgraded to F124. We also dropped Far Cry 6 in favor of an even more popular and good-looking game in Cyberpunk 2077. We run both games at 1920 by 1080 resolution using the Ultra preset. Cyberpunk 2077 uses DLSS, while we left F124 to native resolution scaling. The goal with these settings is to determine if there are differences in performance at the most commonly used and CPU/system bound resolution with settings most people use or strive for, Ultra. We expect the difference between boards in these tests to be minor, with most falling within the margin of error. We've also added a minimum FPS value, which can affect your gameplay and immersion experience. The e-gaming proved to be a competent gamer, landing in the middle of the pack for the 3D Mark and game tests. All good here. Overclocking. Over the past few CPU generations, overclocking headroom has been shrinking on both sides of the fence, while the out-of-the-box potential has increased. For overclockers, this means there's less fun to have. For the average consumer, you're getting the most out of the processor without manual tweaking. Today's motherboards are more robust than ever, and they easily support power-hungry flagship-class processors, so we know the hardware can handle them. There are multiple ways to extract even more performance from these processors, enabling a canned PBO setting, manually tweaking the PBO settings, or just going for an all-core overclock. Results will vary and depend on the cooling as well. In other words, your mileage may vary. Considering all of the above, we're not overclocking the CPU. However, we will try out our different memory kits to ensure they meet the specifications. Memory testing went as expected, with the E-Gaming rejecting our clean DDR5-8000 kit, but happily running the Team Group DDR5-7200 kit after enabling the profile. There's plenty of headroom left when using the right kit. Stick to the QVL for the best results. But with AMD, you're better off around 6,400 MHz with the tightest stable timings you can find. If you want to squeeze every last megahertz out of your processor and prefer not to tweak it yourself, Asus AI overclocking, Dynamic OC Switcher, Core Flex, PBO enhancement, and Clock Gen for BCLK overclocking, part of the company's intelligent features, will help you get there. Power consumption / VRM temperatures. We used IDA64's system stability test with stress CPU, FPU, cache, and memory enabled for power testing, using the peak power consumption value from the processor. The wattage reading is from the wall via a kilowatt meter to capture the entire PC, minus the monitor. The only variable that changes is the motherboard. All other parts remain the same. Please note we move to use only the stock power use / VRM temperature charts, as this section aims to ensure the power delivery can handle flagship-class processors. The power consumption of the Ryzen 9 9990X is relatively low compared to the 7950X used for X670/X670E. In the past, high-end boards peaked at nearly 300 watt, but current systems now reach a maximum of 250 watt. T70 watt during CPU stress tests. Gaming with the NVIDIA RTX 4080 versus the RTX 3070 is a different matter. That said, the X870E The idle power consumption for this board was 97 watt, which is among the higher results. VRM temperatures on the E-Gaming peaked at just under 49 degrees Celsius, 120.2 Fahrenheit, according to Winfo, and 51 degrees Celsius, 123.8 Fahrenheit, on our hottest probe. The premium VRMs and the beefy heat pipe connected heatsinks can tackle any load you throw at them, even an overclocked, high-power flagship like the Ryzen 9 9950X. Final result wrapping things up, the ROG Strix X870E E-Gaming Wi-Fi is a high-quality upper-mid-range motherboard. It offers fast connectivity, including USB ports, storage, and networking options. Along with the hardware, Asus provides one of the most comprehensive sets of AI tools and DIY-friendly features. So, if you're not interested in making manual adjustments, the AI tools can help extract some extra performance. Priced at $499.99, it's equivalent to its X670E counterpart, but offers faster connectivity and is worth the upgrade at similar price points. It's pretty impressive in isolation, but there is, of course, competition. In the sub-$500 category. ROG's X870E Taichi is the least expensive direct competitor at $449.99. Gigabyte's X870E Aorus Master is available for $479.99, while MSI's X870E Carbon matches the Asus price at $499.99. If you need 3 PCIe 5.0 M.2 sockets, Gigabyte has you covered, but it only offers 4 total sockets, similar to the others. ROG's lower price point is appealing, but you get less, especially regarding AI capabilities. MSI's Carbon might be the best-looking option, but it also falls short in the M.2 socket count. That said, among this group, Asus provides the most well-rounded board. With impressive hardware specifications, various AI tools, and DIY-friendly features, you won't find much better without significantly increasing your spend. However, the other boards offer fewer features or slower specifications. The ROG will serve you well if you're not concerned about having the fastest or most advanced options. Nevertheless, if you seek the most comprehensive AMD-based solution with today's modern features, at a sub-$500 price point, of course, the X870E E-Gaming Wi-Fi is the motherboard for you.